Hey guys, Josh with DepDev Channel, and today what we're going to be discussing is apparently Volvo is stopping production on diesel engines. At least that's what the article that I read said, which came as a shock to me because they are one of the largest diesel engine manufacturers in the world. If you don't know what Volvo is, I'd recommend leaving the rock you've been living under for the last several decades, and they are a European-based large automotive, trucking, and equipment corporation. Now, their hallmark, of course, in trucking and equipment is diesel engines. In the automotive field, at least here based in the US, they're known for reliability as well as safety, and they are a very large company, as I already mentioned. So the article I read said, yes, starting in early 2024, which of course is only a few months away, they're going to stop production on diesel engines, which made me wonder, are they insane, or do they want to go out of business? But what the article didn't say is that's only on their cars. Now, in the US, you aren't really able to get hardly any diesel vehicles unless you buy a large pickup truck anyway, as far as cars go. So that doesn't affect the US market. That's mostly for what we would in the US would say overseas, but mostly Europe. So yes, they're stopping their diesel. They'll still have gasoline or petrol, as some people call it, engines. But what they don't have is going to be a diesel engine anymore. And they're trying to go full electric, of course, as most automotive manufacturers seem to be doing, whether that's what they want to do or not. Unless you're Toyota, which seems to think that's a horrible idea. Now, you might be wondering, well, that's a kind of a short topic. Why would you even want to make a video on that? Well, the reason is because it made me think when they were saying they were stopping all diesel engine production, I went on their website, their truck website and their equipment website, and started looking into it to say, hey, maybe they're going to try and do this on trucks or equipment because they want to go out of business. You might be saying, well, Josh, what do you mean go out of business? Isn't the whole world going electric? Well, on the automotive side, yes, there's definitely a push from in the industry as well as outside the industry that is pushing towards electric, full electric. And I don't hate electric vehicles. I ride an electric bike a lot of times to work to save on fuel and wear and tear on my not exactly the most economical 1990 Chevy K2500 pickup truck. Why aren't they going full electric? As they said in this article, that was incorrect. Why aren't they getting rid of their diesel engines in their equipment or on their trucks? In fact, their main truck there, the FH16, which is an awesome looking cab over, by the way, has 750 horsepower, 16-liter, 2-turbo diesel engine in it. Way to go, dude! That one is obviously, that'd be kind of hard to replicate in an electric vehicle. You might be saying, well, electric vehicles, of course it could replicate that. They make tons of torque. Well, yes, they do. However, let's discuss why the trucking industry is not going to go full electric anytime soon. So the reason the diesel engines in trucks and equipment aren't going away anytime soon, or maybe even anytime in the long run, is because you cannot replace a diesel engine with an electric battery and expect the same outcome for a truck or a piece of equipment. Might be saying, well, that's not true. I mean, lots of vehicles have replaced their gasoline or diesel engines in cars or light pickup trucks with great results. I would say yes, you can replace a car with an internal combustion engine with a battery, and there's not a huge change, and that mostly has to deal with how vehicles are used and their purpose composed or compared to a diesel engine in a truck or a piece of equipment. So first thing you need to understand is, what is the purpose of a passenger vehicle? It's to move you, or me in this instance, around. And generally, what do? You use it in the morning to get to work. You use it on the way home to get home from work. Now, maybe you have to pick your kids up on the way home, or maybe you have to go get groceries. Maybe on the weekends you use it for going around. But mostly your car just sits, and it doesn't get used actually quite that much. Not only that, automobiles, since they're mostly only moving you around, can be very lightweight, and they generally are not under a heavy load. And what I mean by that is you're not driving around with your foot all the way to the floor all the time, because the vehicle is not designed to do that. It's only designed to move you around. That's why having a huge pickup truck like a K2500 1990 Chevy doesn't make a lot of sense for just driving back and forth to work. Now, if you have to move lots of firewood, or you have to take loads of garbage to the dump every week or whatever, it makes more sense. So why doesn't that carry over into the diesel heavy duty world? That's because trucks are not designed to move you. You are the operator of the truck. The truck is there to move whatever it's hauling, whether that is plywood or chickens or whatever it is. So you have to understand that it is there to move a large heavy load, which puts a lot of energy in to move that load. Not only that, it is going to be on generally for large portions of the day, not just, let's say, an hour a day. It might be on for 16 hours a day when used. Just wanted to cut in real quick. These are one of the Volvo marketing ads, and it has the guy in his cab playing video games. And I've found it funny that he's playing a Super Nintendo. But let's get back to the topic. And the truck is there to make the company or the operator money. So it moving that mass is what's making the money. So you have to figure out that it takes a lot of energy to move that mass. You might be saying, well, trucks are so inefficient. Well, in comparison to larger vehicles like a train or a freight carrying vessel like a boat, yes, they're inefficient. However, compared to a car, they're very efficient. Even though they may only get, let's say, 6 miles to the gallon, they're hauling 80,000 pounds, whereas your car getting 30 miles to the gallon may only be hauling 3,500 pounds. So yes, it is inefficient as a vehicle to move you, the operator. It is not inefficient as far as cargo movement goes. So that all ties in with why diesel will not be replaced by a battery. It is how much energy you can not only hold and produce to move that, whatever you're hauling, whether it's a truck or a piece of equipment. The filling of it also. So if you have a 200-gallon diesel tank, that's a lot of energy in that tank. It can give you a lot of range, hundreds and hundreds of miles. However, if you have a battery, you're not going to get 600 miles out of a fully charged battery. Not only that, as the battery decreases in charge, you can start to lose power. Whereas a diesel engine, up to the time it completely runs out of fuel, you'll have full power. Which gets to our next point, the filling of the vehicle. This is a huge problem. You see, you can fill your fuel tanks in a few minutes. We'll say 30 minutes maximum. You can fill those two 200-gallon tanks. But generally, it's going to be 10 minutes or something like that. A battery, no, not even close. Let's look at how long the Volvo battery takes to charge. So since that battery takes almost 10 hours to fully charge, you're, as the operator, what are you going to do in that time? Are you going to tow another truck so that while this one's charging, you can drive the other one? How's that going to work? Or let's say in a piece of equipment, a lot of those have no access to batteries. So what are you going to have a diesel generator on site to charge your equipment batteries? That kind of doesn't make any sense and brings up another problem with diesel to electric, is that your grid power. Where are you getting your electricity from? I see on all these websites, oh, zero tailpipe emissions from your electric vehicle, and that's true. There are no tailpipe emissions because there's no tailpipe, there's no combustion process, so there's no exhaust out of this electric vehicle. But where is the electricity coming from? It's not like all electricity all over the world is only produced with windmills and wind generators and solar power. A lot of it is coal produced. Now, electric vehicles in the equipment and trucking industry are not entirely useless, I'm going to say. There's a lot of places, actually, where they make a lot of sense. Think of electric forklifts. You don't necessarily want an internal combustion engine inside of a warehouse running, so an electric vehicle makes a lot of sense there. As well as like the tailor-done electric little trucks for moving small items around. There's some electric wheel loaders for inside operation. If you had something like a loading dock, or a yard where you're moving trailers a lot, an electric truck actually would make more sense there because, of course, electric vehicles are simpler. There's no transmission. There's no radiator. There's no alternator necessarily. There's a lot of components less on an electric vehicle, a lot less maintenance involved in operating them than there is on a internal combustion engine. So they're not all negative, but they are not a direct replacement for the current diesel market. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.